everybody. Happy new week. I hope you're doing amazing. New week here, the sun's shining. Finally, we returned from the Gold Coast yesterday back to Melbourne, and it's coming into a heat wave here. And next to me, I've got someone from the other side of the world. It's still Sunday over, chilling out. Susan Cohn, who's now currently finishing up her second book with us. And I thought I wanted to re-invite her and talk about that particular topic that I think is super powerful around the Spring Principle, which is the name of her second book. So thank you so much for joining me today, Susan.
Well, it's a delight to be with you as always. And after this very interesting year, it's just a delight to be with anybody, actually.
Yeah, Susan's had a challenging year, but moving through, and I can't wait to see her. Actually, we're having lunch in about 4 weeks' time. We'll be up in LA, and actually, I met Susan when she was in Newcastle in Australia for a little while, a few years back. So we've kind of now been in each other's lives, probably 4 or 5 years, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It
Yeah.
is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, time flies. But let's introduce you properly. Today, obviously, we're talking about dynamic aging. What do we do with the extra years that we get to live nowadays? And so this is what the kind of the topic of the second book that Susan's written is. But I'll give you the official introduction of who she is. So she's the author of the best-selling book, The Art of the Mentor. That was her first book, and soon to be released book, The Spring Principle, The Secrets to Dynamic Aging Revealed. She calls herself as an accidental and experimental artist as she began studying art at 50. Susan's inspiring story is proof of what is possible when you're willing to take a leap of faith. Her colorful memoirs beautifully capture both her personal and professional transformation later in life. While her love of art may have started by accident, through the encouragement of her art mentor, Susan has continued to grow as an artist. She hopes that those who read The Art of the Mentor and The Spring Principle will have the confidence and courage to take that first step to follow their passion in life and to seek out a mentor who can help them achieve their dreams, whatever they may be. Susan's work has been exhibited throughout the United States and in Sweden, Italy, France, and the UAE. It appears in personal and business collections as well as public art projects and museum collections. And you can see some of it behind her there. And what I wanted to show you also, guys, this soon to be released book. So you can see the cover from what's about to, kind of be completed. There it is, The Spring Principle, The Secrets to Dynamic Aging Revealed. So let's talk about that, Susan. Give me a little bit of, I guess, insight, of how you see the world, because we just talked just before we went on live, how some people tend to spend, their later years sometimes just watching TV and not doing anything, yet you're a powerhouse. And, what keeps you going, I guess?
I'll tell you, I really, after reading and studying a lot of the research,
Yeah.
I've discovered that we have extra years that have been added onto our age if we use them well. And so I've read about people who are showing what happens if we are exposed to ageism, and when we take it in to ourselves, it actually, we lose years, as many as 8 years lost if we are belittled and exposed to ageism by people around us. It's an amazing difference. 8 years is a lot of years to live. So that was a pretty fascinating concept when I was reading about it and studying the research. And so it got me started thinking about what other secrets do we not know about aging? How do people live past a certain age? I mean, when I was a child, I'm thinking my grandmother retired at 65. And she had an active business and, a good business, but she retired at 65. People ask me if I'm retired, when I go into all these doctor's offices right now and I have to fill out all these forms, they say, well, when did you retire? And I say, no, I
No.
didn't retire. I haven't retired. I'm just working as hard as ever, as long as I'm able to. And I love it, and I'm studying, and I'm trying to share the information that I have in my artwork and in my writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it also makes me more aware of how I want to be treated and setting limits, because that difference can add a definite 8 years to our lives if
Wow.
we can set those limits and make it clear to people around us how we want to be treated.
Mm. And
So
I love,
there's a lot of fascinating research about aging now, and about how to stay younger through our food, our activities,
yes.
and through planning. And so I'm covering a lot of those subjects in the book.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, it's that principle, like, if you keep growing, you're either green or growing, they say, or you're ripe and rotting. And that's what
Exactly.
ever since I've met you like 5 years ago, you've always so interested in, well, how does this work? I know I might not understand it as fast as someone that might be a little bit younger, but you're still like so persistent. That's what I've seen about you. Is you can just keep going. I need the extra support, and this is, and when you're talking about the boundaries, it's like,
Yes.
this is what I need, and like saying people what you need, and I'm willing to, kind of invest if I have to a little bit more to spend more time with you guys, but I want to get this outcome, and this is the result that I'm after.
Exactly. Exactly. And to find people who are so well organized and have a program that works so well for me has been really good, because um, I like to get things done. I like to set goals. And the fact that I am not as tech savvy as a lot of the young people, my grandchildren and things, who have been born into the tech world, I wasn't. So I have to figure it out.
Yep.
And so that's what one of the things I rely on you and your people for. They're so wonderful, and they make this all possible for me.
Yeah, I love that. So what are some of your goals for the next 12 months?
Well, for the next 12 months, my one goal is getting the collar off of my neck.
Yes.
I, I have a hard collar on my neck. I've had it there for a year. I'm ready to have it off.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for better health. Yeah, I want to get back to swimming and yoga, and I want to finish this book and just get I'm about 90% done with the second book, and I just need to get it done and out. So,
Yeah. Well, today can be one of your catalysts, because we're gonna let people know where they can pre-order it, and and check out your first one as well, and definitely, it's a little push in the right direction to get it through, right?
no question, no question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am in awe of the nature of your organization, and how personal it is, and how involved you are with the authors, and how much you help us get through those tough places.
Let's talk about speed bumps. Obviously, we had a massive speed bump, in your health earlier this year, and you've had to wear the collar, as you say, that you want to get off now.
Right.
How do you, like, where do you tap into the mindset necessary to, just keep moving forward and all that sort of stuff? Talk to me a little bit about that, because you're a unique individual. There's not, like, you know what I mean? You've got, such amazing goals, and, value that you add to the world through your art and everything else.
Yeah. Well, what happened, I was in the LA Art Show last January.
Yes.
I was downtown LA, working for 4 days, and my staff just said finally, why don't you go home? We're done. We'll clean up and bring the stuff, we'll finish up here and go home and relax. So I went home to my house where I was living by myself. Couldn't wait to get into a hot shower. and I got into the shower, and that's the last thing I remember. I woke up with a gash in my head that was bleeding and with my neck hurting, and nobody there.
Wow.
And so I had to kind of figure out what to do. After a few minutes, I decided I better get out of that shower, grabbed the towel and crawled to my phone and started pushing buttons till I got somebody to answer, get a hold of my son, and he came over and got me to the hospital, where I was told that this was a killer fall.
Wow.
And that I was, that most people don't survive it. And so I was, that was that was the end of January. And so now we are in the end of October, the beginning of November, and I'm still in a collar, and I am healing, and I am back writing, and I am painting every day, and I'm determined to have this book out shortly.
Yeah, I love that. So, what do you tell yourself? Like, sometimes, we have little self-talk about, like some people go, that's it, I'm never going to recover from this. What's your self
Yeah,
day?
yeah. Well, sometimes it's felt pretty bad
Mm,
this year.
mm,
But, I have this determination that says as long as I have the physical ability to heal and to think,
yes.
I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to get it done. So there's sort of a determination that's there
Mm,
that says, I'm not, as hard as this year has been, I'm not going to waste it.
yeah.
It's, I'm going to put everything I have into it,
Mm,
and I'm determined to make a contribution to people who may not have this information in a way that's readable and easy to understand, and perhaps adds to their lives.
yeah, I love that. How do you handle then ageism? Like, what are some of the things if other people are experiencing her watching this or listening to this interview?
Yeah.
How do we overcome that? What has happened to you, and how have you handled it? Is there a couple of examples?
Well, I think it has to do with the way people speak to you.
Yeah.
It's like I have a chapter called "I'm Not Cute." You know,
I love that.
I'm not cute. If you, when we see a man and woman of my age walking along holding hands, what's the reaction and how do people talk to them and what do people say? And a lot of people say, "Isn't that cute?" It's not. It's human.
Mm,
Um, so it's if I were to take that in and say, "Oh, now I'm cute," that's what happens when you get to be my age. No, it's not what happens. What happens is we're still ourselves,
mm,
and we still have time to live and do and make a difference in the world. And we know things that we didn't know 20 years ago and 40 years ago. And it's time to use that
mm.
inner uh, brain power and the things that we know, and be an adult and be treated as an adult. And I had a doctor, of these many doctors, I had a doctor say to me, "Is it okay if I call you Susan?" And I said, "Is it okay if I call you Scott?" Um, I'm trying to be clear with everybody by setting boundaries and saying, "I'm an adult, are you?"
Yeah.
I know you're a lot younger than me, but I'll treat you like an adult if you treat me like one. Um, it's those kinds of things that where you're setting boundaries, you're aware that this is not a, a different childhood. This is the continuation of our lives. We are adults.
Yeah.
We grow and are enhanced as we grow. And I have some ways of thinking about that and talking about that in my book, um, that I think will help people to not lose those years.
Mm, yeah. So what I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously I don't haven't yet experienced, the age or the time
Yes,
that you're at. Do you
yes,
think that when people get older, they start getting treated like children, or like, as if you're not an adult? Is that what kind of happens?
yes,
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm,
yes. Too
yeah,
often it happens. Too
yeah.
often it happens if our children start treating us like, um, we're their children.
Mm,
Um, yeah, that's just one of the examples that people talk to me about that often happens, that
mm,
our children decide that we should be living this way or that way,
mm.
and they don't want to budge on that. They really believe they know, but they don't know because
Yes.
they're
That
not
would
our
be,
age. They haven't been our age, and and then the people around us, often, um, are surprised to see that we think and do and create and make a difference and have an opinion and do research and, um,
yes. Yeah.
those kinds of those kinds of things. It's important that we internalize it and that we share it with other people and
Mm,
also share it with our peers, so they're not subjected to being treated like children,
yeah.
as we get older.
What I'm also
Um,
hearing you say, I think it has plays a big part, like, that confidence you've developed because you
mhm.
a particular, I guess you demand particular respect as well as you know what you want, and you kind of, I see that within you. I've seen also within, say, some older individuals where they allow their children to almost overrule them.
Yes.
So how, because you see the confidence, in the person sometimes decline, they were like, say, at the top of their game in their 40s, 50s, or whatever. And then they become a little bit more scared or unsure of themselves.
Mhm.
How does someone, like, I guess, overcome and build that back up for themselves at your age?
Um, I just, I'm thinking about your mother, who is this amazing woman
Yes.
who supports you so much and who works so closely with you. And I know she's younger than I am, but the fact is, she's not getting old. She is dynamic.
Yeah.
She is part of the world. And
Mm,
you can tell by the way you speak about her and the way she's involved in your business that this is not somebody who's getting old. This is somebody who's aging,
yeah.
and she deserves respect for all that she does.
Yeah.
And so that's an example that I see as I work with you,
Yeah.
that you have a tremendous respect for your mother, and, the two of you get along really well,
Yeah.
and understand each other. And so that may be sort of an example of a
Mm.
way to, actually literally increase her age.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
is,
she came to
treat
my
her.
house yesterday and she's the one going, I haven't done the visa for the bookkeeping. And she's like pushing me to do her job,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because I can see having purpose and being useful and helpful gives it, like, has things to look forward to, and she wants to contribute. She doesn't want to, when 5 years ago I said, why don't you stop the cleaning job that you were doing and come
Yes.
and kind of help us. I can see that the things that might make her spark up the most are actually, the tasks with it. She does wages now for our employees. She does
Wonderful.
bookkeeping. She does her like, she's not an artist like you, but she like loves projects, creating those little houses, like building things. She's always been very good with her hands, and
Uh,
she likes to do all the other types of crafts and things like that. So she goes, oh, I'm never bored. She goes, I don't know why people say they're so bored. Like, and they sit around and watch Netflix or they're just on their device. She goes, I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yes, exactly. So that, I think that's a really good example that you're very close to, even though, as I say, I'm older than your mother, but she's, I can see it. I can see it in your relationship, how your encouragement helps her to be more dynamic, and her assistance helps you to be more dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's what we're saying really here is work with each other's strengths and
Yes,
value that you bring from a different perspective in life. And that's when you
exactly.
truly thrive. And you create,
Yes.
yeah, this amazing, you know, even my children get so much value from learning or being looked after her when she needs to look after them. So, yeah.
And then the other thing that I was thinking of was, I'm in a relationship, um, and when people hear that I'm in a new relationship, because my husband died a few years ago, as you know, um, sometimes the natural reaction for people is to say, "Oh, for companionship."
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm writing about that too. I'm
Mm-hmm.
writing about when when do our bodily functions go away? They don't.
I don't.
They don't. We still need touch. We still need connection with people. We still need people to talk to and interact with, and we need more than companionship.
Mm.
Often, some of us do anyway.
Oh,
So I have a chapter on seniors and sex in my book,
I love it.
um, that basically talks about don't make assumptions about me. Don't make assumptions about what I do and don't need, why I do or do not have a relationship.
Yeah,
Um, you
I
know,
love
it,
that.
yeah,
I love that. And just because we change externally we look, it doesn't mean that, you know, we don't do exactly the same things that we've always done, but from a different perspective or wisdom or whatever, you know, interests us at that point in time, right?
exactly. And we may see each other a little differently as well. I mean, you know, I'm told I'm beautiful all the time. Now, am I beautiful? I'm old, but you know, but I don't, but I feel beautiful. I feel able,
Yeah,
because I choose not to lose myself.
yeah. I love that, Susan. And you are beautiful. Like, you know, I always say, you know, I want to be you when I grow up, you know, you know, that's something, you know, whenever I see people you know, that are getting results or having a life that I want to be like them, you know, kind of like, that's kind of my goals of who I want to become, you know, and that's what I think the responsibility of people like yourself is there to keep showing us that what's possible, right? I don't want to see the person sitting on the recliner just you know, doing nothing without a purpose and direction in life, right?
Right, and at the same time, people like you are there to do the same thing. When young people who go out and say, "I'm not gonna go to an office and sit and do something somebody tells me. I'm going to make my own life. I'm going to establish a world of my own and make it work for me and make it work for other people." And you're doing the same thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which
that I am at a different age, different level, but it's the same. It's the
yeah,
same kind of person.
mm. Yeah, and I bet you if we look back, you know, 10, 20, 30 years, you had similar aspirations or goals. You know, the goals may have shifted in terms of what you want or what's important to you. But you know how they say it's how you do something is how you do everything. And
Yes,
you've, you know, it's great to carry that through life. And, you know, if we can shift other people's perceptions or beliefs of what's possible, you know,
yes,
that's what it's through contribution that we get to live longer lives. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what
Exactly.
you're doing with your books, and I highly recommend that you guys go and pick up a copy and pre-order the other one. Let me share where they are. So Susan's got, guys, a website, which I'm going to open up on the screen right now. So it's Cohn Art, COHN Art, ART.com. And here, obviously, there's a few different things you can see on the website. But the Spring Principle will update to the newer cover here, but you can pre-order it. They're right across the top in the menu. And the Art of the Mentor, which is already out, that you can get yourself a copy on there, and you can subscribe or sign up and have a look at her art through the different tabs and things like that. It's absolutely amazing what this woman does and continues to do, and I can't wait to give her a big hug, gentle hug, when I see Susan
That's right.
in a few weeks' time. Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you, really.
It's been an absolute pleasure helping you bring these books into life, and I hope we're going to be doing more projects as we go through. And I think there's so many subtopics that we opened up a little bit on right now, that could be a whole book and a container in its on its own. And I can't wait to see you thrive, get that neck brace off, throw it never to be seen again.
Right.
It's a great goal to have. And any final words you want to share with people that have been listening today?
I'm hoping that this book is going to make a difference in some people's lives, and I'm looking forward to, with your help, getting it out of here and sometime in the near future.
I think it'll be a wonderful present. And even I don't think it's just a book that's aimed at people who are at an age like yourself. I think it's like for people like me as well to understand and see that world from that perspective, and kind of go, oh, I was saying that, or I've said that unconsciously, not knowing how it might hurt somebody. Maybe now with awareness, I know differently.
Yes, I think.
Therefore, I can do better. When I know better, I'll do better. Yeah.
I'm hoping that message will come across. Yeah.
It will, and you definitely continue doing your interviews. I know Susan, guys, has been interviewed on many different radios, different kind of stuff. She always shows up and is here to share her experiences, and that's what it's about. If we remain the best kept secret, we can't change other people's lives, and we're living how many years past what they call retirement. I hate that word, by the way, as well. Retirement. What the hell? What do you do? It's such a, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, my grandmother, who retired at 65, lived to be 92.
That's it. I think we're living 30 years past 65.
So I am really, yes. And so I'm expecting to live at least as long as she did. And that's quite a while off. So
yeah. Well, I hope we're going to have lots of more catch-ups, in face-to-face, and, bringing more value into this world, because we need to hear it, and we need to help people along, because our mindset is the one thing that's going to keep moving us through, and helping us feel good about ourselves, about who we surround ourselves with, and that's what I think you've nailed. So you definitely need to do a mindset book as well. I believe something around the thinking as we go through life.
That's right. Well, we've got two choices. Either we keep on living or we don't.
Yeah,
I choose to.
That's it. I love that. Thank you so much for your time on a Sunday afternoon. Heal up. I'm going to see you in a month's time for our Christmas lunch. Wear something Christmassy, okay?
Okay.
And I'll talk to you soon. And guys, go and get that book. Cohnart.com is the website. And we'll get the second one out in print in the next few months. So get yourself a pre-order. All right, talk soon.
Okay.
Bye, Susan.
Bye.
Bye.